Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learn Something Daily. Today our topic is about Vice President. Guess why? Because Dhankar submits his resignation to the President. So Vice President is in news. So one should learn about the Vice President for sure because there may be a chance of asking questions in prelims or maybe mains. Okay? Okay, then PYQs. Once refer to the PYQs before going into any topic, whether it was president or vice president or anything. First, refer to the PYQs. Here, it was mainly asking about the elections and how the elections were conducting, the electoral college. So, one should learn about the election. Coming to the mains, it was mainly concerning about the functions and its role, and there is also a comparison between the role of the vice president of US and India. So one should learn about it. Okay, okay. Now coming to the topic, Article 63 to 71 speaks about the vice president of India. And Article 63, there shall be a vice president of India. So that is the reason why there is a vice president of India. And Article 64, it was talking about its power. Article 67, where it was talking about the terms of the office of the president. Article 67A, under which vice president gave his resignation letter to the president. Article 67A, it was mainly news because the present vice president gave his resignation letter under Article 67A. So one should remember about this article. Election process of the vice president, and it was held by the members of the electoral college. Electoral college mainly consists of the elected and nominated members of the parliament. State legislative assemblies do not involve in the elections of the vice president, but in the case of the president, the legislative assemblies involve in the election procedure of the president, but not in case of the vice president. Here, only elected and nominated members of the parliament. That's it. Manner of the elections. The system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. Okay, more than 50% of vote is required for his election. Terms and vacancy. 5 years of term is required for the office of the president. Okay, he will be removed from the office before the completion of the before the completion of the 5 years, and he also gave his resignation letter to the president. That was the case now under the article 67A. If he completed the 5 years of term, before the completion of the 5 years of term, the election should be taken place. Okay, if if office falls vacant because of his resignation, if his removal, death, then election should be held as soon as possible. In constitution, it do not mention the time period in which the election should be held. It was mentioned only in the Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Act 1952. Please remember it. And then, who will act as a vice president in the absence and vacancy? He is deputy chairman. Who elects the deputy chairman? Only Rajya Sabha members. Only Rajya Sabha members among itself elects the deputy chairman. In the absence of in any vacancy, he will act as the vice president. Okay. Powers and functions. This is the most important concept one should learn for sure. Here, the main powers of the vice president is he is an ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. What does that ex officio means? See, if any member was elected to particular body, he will automatically become a chairman of another one. In this case, vice president, he elected as a vice president, so he can automatically become a chairman of the Rajya Sabha. That is the meaning of the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, and he has the power to act as a president when vacancy occurs in the office of the president. See, the functions of the chairman is similar to that of the functions of the Lok Sabha speaker, like maintaining the decorum, maintaining the house harmony and casting of the vote and to maintain impartiality. So all these are the functions of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, which is similar to those of Lok Sabha speaker. But in case of Lok Sabha speaker, he have an exceptional power, like he can decide a particular bill as a money bill, and he will preside over the joint sitting of the two houses of the parliament. But this was not the case in the case of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, remember this point. And then limitations. See, when the chairman of the Rajya Sabha has only procedural role and presiding officer, that's it. Nothing more powers will be given to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. No real executive power like the president and prime minister. He cannot influence the government policies or administration. He do not involve in any government or administration policies. He do not involve in any administrations. He do not involve in any executive powers. So he is only just an procedural role, and he is just a presiding officer in the Rajya Sabha. That's it. Was like comparison between US and India. So earlier there is an mains questions related to comparison between the Indian vice president and US vice president. So one should know about the differences between India and US vice president, because we mainly adopted vice president from the United States. So one should learn, one should have an awareness about it. So election type, it was an indirect election in both the cases. And but in case of people's role, we here in case of the Indian vice president, people do not vote directly. Here in case of United States also, they do not vote directly, but indirectly they will vote, because while they are voting, they'll check the names of the president and vice president. If the president was elected, so parallelly the vice president will also elected. So there is a reference by the people when they are elected. Voting system is winners take all in most states, but in case of India, it was like proportional representation. Okay, and term is 5 years, and in US it was 4 years. Term limit, no limit. That means one vice president can be re-elected for number of times. Acts as a president in case of India, only in case of the absence and vacancy he will be only acts as a president. But in case of United States, he will be directly appointed as a president and continue for the remaining term. But it was not the case in India. Here he is headed over the Senate, and here he was headed over the Rajya Sabha. Okay. Now we are when we are reading about any particular body, whether it is a president or vice president, we have to learn about their executive, legislative, and judiciary powers. So, in case of vice president in India, the executive powers is very less. It do not have any executive powers like the United States vice president. It involves US vice president involves in the administration and in policy making process and all, but that was not the case in Indian vice president. And in case of US, vice president holds president for remaining terms in case of vacancy. In India, he acts as a constitutional bridge between legislative wing and the government. See, here he is only heading over the Rajya Sabha. That's it. He only controlling and uh, just involving in the activities. That's it. He do not take any activities in initiating the bills, or involving in introducing any bills or steering any bills. So it only just uh, taking the opinions of the legislatures, and if possible, if possible, giving that particular opinion to the executive. That's it. In case of the judiciary in United States, indirectly the president involved in the approval of the judges, but in case of India they do not involve in any approval of the judges or in any confirmation of the judges. Only in case of the impeachment motion, then Raj chairman may involve the particular house involved, so he indirectly involved it in the impeachment motion, but not in any case of the approval like the executives did. In India, executives involves in the confirmation or approval or approval of the judges or any kind of thing, but not the vice president. Even though he is an executive, but he do not involve in approval or confirmation of the judges of the Supreme Court. That's it. So far, this is an additional information. So far, three members discontinued the term. They are V.V. Giri, R. Venkatraman, and Jagdeep Dhankar. The first two persons was mainly they taken charge as a president. That is the reason why they discontinued the term. The third person, Jagdeep Dhankar, it was like medical concern. So he discontinuing the term now. So that's it, guys. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. Learn something daily. I hope you learned something today. And please share if this video is really informative. And please subscribe to my channel and like and share.